right, let's see if people notice I'm on. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Let me make sure my mic is on. I gotta confirm the audio, make sure everything's good on the audio. There we go. Okay, so it should be all good. All right, I got 4 people watching. I'm gonna start now. Happy Saturday. Frank Ftdk's dropping knowledge coming at you once again. Little bit of a message, little bit of knowledge. Hoping everyone is having a fantastic day. For those of you watching, thank you so much for watching. We're going to talk a little bit about Superfluous. Superfluous Saturday, Talking Papas with Frank Ftdk's dropping knowledge. Hey, what's up, Oakland? Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Oakland. Let me move this chat box over here because I think está haciendo un poco de clavo. All right, yeah, we'll put it here. Let me see. Can I move my square up? Can I move this up? I don't know. No, but it's cool like that. Hey, what's up, Katie Frizzle? Nice to see you, Katie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I won't be here too long. I'm watching the games. I'm watching the World Cup games. The last one was good. I thought that Germany was going to lose for a minute, but they turned it around. That's right. That's right. Shankopotamus, nice to see you, man. Good to have you guys. I got 10 people watching. It's a Saturday. Superfluous Saturday. Talking Papas with Frank Ftdk's dropping knowledge. You know how we do. That's right, Oakland. That's right, Shanks. That's right. Lil Manor, nice to see you in here. Lil Manor, thanks for dropping by. Frank Ftdk's, I send mine full to you and all in the chat. Thanks so much, Machete. What's up, Katie Frizzle? So, Superfluous Saturday. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm not going to be on too long. I do want to take it slow today. I have been taking it slow. I woke up kind of late. Just been watching the games. Had a late breakfast. We ordered pizza. I've been just chilling. It's been cool. Made my coffee. And I was like, man, should I do a live? I'm like, yeah, I'll do a live. Horns, is that you, Grew Horn? Ill-mannered, Machete, okay, ill-mannered. Machete. Is that you, Grew Horn, Grew a Greenhorn, Grew a Greenhorn? Now you're just horns? All right. Okay. Yeah, horns. That's right, Oakland. All right, I'm gonna play this definition real quick of what superfluous is, Oakland everything. I just want to start it off with just a definition. I'm just gonna speak off of this a little bit, and like I said, I'm not gonna be on too long. I'm gonna play some music in the background. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. That's right. Horns. Miss Yaya, nice to see you. Miss Yaya, nice to see you. Superfluous Saturday. Superfluous Saturday. Talking Papas with Frank Ftdk's dropping knowledge. Hey man, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that's subscribing to my channel. It's like little by little, I see it going up every day, little by little, and I just appreciate you guys for subscribing, for watching, for hitting the like, for coming on the lives, and being a part of what I do, being a part of this process. What's up, Raider Laker? Nice to see you, man. Shout out Exposed to Fam. Shout out to you, brother. Orange, Katie, that's right. Shout out to the Exposed to movement, the ladies of Exposed to, everybody that supports. Hey, we had battle boxes last night. Kind of crazy, kind of crazy. I'm trying to say like that one girl that clowned Skittles for running around his church. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. And she clowned that fool. Miss Yaya, that's right. Let me go ahead and play this definition, guys. Let me play this definition real quick. It's not a very long. It's 32 seconds.
Superfluous is an adjective that describes something unnecessary, excessive, or redundant. It refers to anything that goes beyond what is required or sufficient. Superfluous elements are often seen as extraneous or serving no useful purpose. In writing and speech, superfluous words or details can detract from clarity and conciseness. The term is used to encourage efficiency and simplicity by identifying and eliminating unnecessary components in various contexts.
All right. All right. Give me a second, guys. Assuming my wife's coming in. Give me a second. All right. Thank you, guys. So I'm gonna leave the definition right there. Hey, what's up, Cali Big Dog? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Nice to have you with us, man. Hey, prayers to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody that's going through it. If you believe in the higher power, if you believe that you can make things manifest through prayer or through thought, through vision, whatever, man. Just always release some of that to the people here. A lot of us know of people going through it. We pray for all of you. Shout out to everybody, man. We got to make it better every day. So that's like the purpose, I guess, of what we try to do. At least is what I try to do with my little niche. But people try to throw the monkey wrench in everything. So sometimes we have to address things that have nothing to do with us. But today, I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna take it easy. That's right. That's right. That's right. Cali Big Dog. Hey, the next game's isn't Mexico playing next? That's gonna be a good game. What's up? What's up, Machete? All that Superfluous flexing and impressing nobody, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah. You're catching my drift. You're catching my drift, man. That's kind of. I mean, that's one thing. That's why I left the definition up, because if you look towards the very end, it says, and eliminating unnecessary components, it says in various contexts, right? So the superfluous can be used when we're talking about anything. Like you said, fake flexing, bro. That superfluous flexing, that fake flexing. It's too much. It's too much sometimes. But I get it. I mean, I get it. I get it. To a certain extent, I understand. That's right. That's right. Let's get it. Let's get this. That's right, Miss Yaya. Hey, Popeye, what's good, everyone? What's good with you, bro? Send mine. Send my love and respect. Blessings to you, bro. Superfluous Saturday. A lot of time we deal or we pad our intentions and our moves with the superfluous. And that's when you say, like, man, you're doing too much. Like, well, you're doing too much. Like, that's not necessary. Like, come on, man. Just keep it above the belt. Keep it above the belt. Machete, don't make me use a dictionary, homie, with those big words. That's right, Popeye. That's right, Katie. That's right, Popeye. Let's see. Superfluous does gum. I mean, I think some people would even qualify me or classify me as that because of how I express myself and the stances that I take. But I'm really not doing anything extra. And the way that I speak when I get animated, that's just how I speak to, when I'm having conversations with people. But I like to listen. It just so happens that in this platform, I'm the one doing all the talking unless someone jumps on and we can, go back and forth. But you guys have noticed that even when the trolls have jumped on, I'll listen to them. Like, I'll give them their space to speak. I'm not constantly interrupting unless they're starting to go down the route of insults and all of that. That's the superfluous aspect sometimes of dealing with them, because we have to deal with all of this extra that has nothing to do with anything else but this narrative that they're trying to drive. But this can be used in many contexts, and I know of people, like that term, like clutching at your pearls, right? Clutching at your pearls. Like, if you can think of like those older white ladies back in the 40s, 50s that wore those, pearl collars. And whenever they were like outraged over something, they would clutch their pearls. Now, all that pearl clutching that goes on sometimes, but I know that people can think that what we do is the exposed to movement could be pearl clutching whenever we call shit out. But it's not. It's just that look at it. Is that cool with you? That's the question. The question is that cool with you? Are those actions cool with you? No. We're not trying, now when I make my videos, like the videos that I clip up, it can get, superfluous. Sometimes I edit it a little, I add some different effects, noises, or sounds. I really appreciate everyone that has watched the short I put out last. It's gotten a lot of views, so I appreciate that. I'm gonna continue dropping content. But I'm never gonna get out of context. I'm not gonna come out here and just do the most to catch your attention, to get new subscribers, to get new likes. I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not. I'm not. And contrary to popular belief, I prefer hashing shit out, like having conversations with people to avoid a lot of the superfluous attitudes and actions that happen when people are angry at you or spite you for some reason. Kelly Big Dog, I rode on the smart side of the street. That's right, Popeye. Let me catch up with these chats. Kelly Big Dog, what's up, man? Popeye, that's right, Popeye. I see you, Horn. Hey, Sunshine Valentine, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for always showing support. That's right, Sunshine. Horns, let's see. You'll always be groomed to me. Katie Sunshine. That's right, Sunshine. Nice to see you. Hey, shout out to Spider Mike, man. Send my love and respect to you guys. To you and your family. That's right, OG Smalls. You too, Popeye, and everybody in the house, man. I send my love and respect to you, your family. May you be blessed. May you be prosperous. May you be full of health. No, stand strong. I pray for all of you. Katie Frizzle, your mom and you are always in my prayers. Little white ferret. No, and the guys going through it too. I'm gonna respect and just say that, we pray, man. We got to pray just to make it today. Man, I pray every day. That's right, Shankopotamus, Cali Big Dog, Shanks, OG Smalls. All right, that's right. Now, being that this is social media, right? Being that this is fucking, I don't shy away from the fact that I'm trying to build my channel. I don't shy away from that. I don't shy away from saying that I want the views. I don't shy away from that. Not at all. You know. But what I won't do is put out superfluous content, or come out here and do superfluous things. Just being extra, just for likes, just for views, or for some sort of clout, like some sort of validation. I don't get it. Like, I still don't get it, to be honest with you guys. Like, I know that you guys accuse me, like some of you guys accuse me of trying to get like validation from Exposed Tube. Shout out to Exposed Tube, man, to ET. Shout out to you, bro. You and your family. No, same with Miss Yaya, Lady Mimi, ladies of Exposed Tube, Blue, Popeye, Mr. Oxnard. No, everybody. Taco Stain, ill mannered, the Hangman Stranger. We do talk. And we understand what it is just to talk about normal stuff because we're normal people. No, I mean we're raising kids. We're not out here trying to impress. We just want to kick it, but at the same time, we hold people accountable for weird shit. Like, what's so hard to understand about that? It's okay if you're grown. Frank T, likewise, gracias, hermano. No, you know what's up, Popeye, man. Man, I got a love and respect for you guys. You don't manage your trafficking that fool. I might have. You guys are crazy. Anyways, I've always been against the theatrics, man, or being something that I'm not. I've made my emotions and my ideas, my thoughts very clear online, on live, on video, and it's all there. You guys can go watch it. No, but what I won't do is extra shit to have you guys jump on. Like, I trust that you guys can see my content for what it is, and that you guys are truly watching and following it, because even if you don't like me, there might be something that you might learn from it. You might even be watching it to gain ammunition to use against me, right? Like you always do. But in the process, you're learning something. I see some of you guys applying a more, pronounced, deliberate vocabulary in some of your last attacks. So I'm like, hey, man, kudos to you guys. Pick up them thesauruses and dictionaries. That's the whole point. Dropping knowledge. On Superfluous Saturday, talking papas with Frank Ticas, dropping knowledge, man. Hey, man, if you haven't already done so, hit the like. Please subscribe. Shout out to Exposed Tube. Shout out to the ladies of Exposed Tube. Yeah, we had the battle boxes last night, right? There was a lot of superfluous posturing going on, like constant. Fools that jumped on in the chats. But we know that that's gonna come up. You know that that's gonna be what it's gonna be. I mean, we know who we're dealing with here, right? So all of that superfluous bravado, it gets to a point like, come, dude, we've been dealing with you for months now. It's like we already know what you're capable of. We already know what you're doing. It's like, so what's the point? Like, what's the point of having a conversation if it's not going to lead to anything? I'm not going to have superfluous conversations with anybody. If it's not going to lead to anything, there's no point. It's a superfluous conversation. It's unnecessary. It's excessive. It might even be redundant. See, I'm reading the definition. you know, and so have you ever gotten with people that's like a cycle? Like, they'll fuck up, they apologize. You're like, all right. They fuck up, they apologize. You're like, come on, man. But then they get mad if you don't like forgive them the next time. They get upset. You know that to me, that kind of a relationship is a superfluous relationship. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you don't need that extra repetitive drama in your life. If someone's already like dragging their presence in your life, I mean, sometimes you got to help them out the door, open it up. Hey, you know what? It's been nice knowing you, but you can kick rocks. I mean, it's simple as that. You don't need to do all of this extra shit, right? Like trying to make the other person jealous, and doing all of these other things, or putting out their dirty closet out on the street for everyone to see, trying to get other people involved. All of that is superfluous. Sometimes it's a lot faster if you just have a private conversation and deal with it. Professor Tika's, hey man, I just like to share, man. I like to share thoughts, like that's the point of what I want to do. They're mesmerized by superfluity. Yeah, man, by superfluity, by the untangible, by the I always use the term instant gratification because it all comes down to instant gratification. Like, yes, you get your jollies off, you get your kicks right now, but then when it comes back in the form of facts, where it's like, wait a minute, look, you're bullshitting again. you know the fact that you have no regard for your rep excuse me, the fact that you have no regard for your reputation, that to me is like, okay, then there's no point, because there's no self-respect, there's no ethics, man. you know so calling him Pussyplex a coward is already superfluous because his name, yeah, pretty much, kind of, yeah, you're getting it, Horns. That's usually me fucking up and apologizing. Yeah, that's right, ill manner, that's right. Oh, we got the trolls already coming in. Just hit the like and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you know when I'm on. I'm not like on the weekends. I might not be on at the same time. For example, tomorrow I might be on even earlier, just because we might be doing some things. So during the weekend, I don't have the set time. Monday through Friday, I do. Usually it's 5:20, between 5:20 5:30. If I ever have to extend myself on something, 5:40, but that's going to be rare. And I usually start earlier, you know. But I have to stop doing that because I think it messes up people's notifications. I'm not sure. No, but I mean, look, for example, me doing these lives every day, depending on what I have going on in my life, it could be deemed at some point superfluous. Especially if it doesn't get the results, if it doesn't do for me what I want it to do for me, because this is more for me. See, you guys have your narratives wrong when you guys think that I do things for clicks and views. No, I do things because I have time. I enjoy producing. I enjoy producing. When I would draw, I enjoyed producing art and drawing and doing all of these things. Now I really can't draw. I need new glasses. I gotta buy me one of those big old, like, they have those lenses so that you can see things closer. I probably need one of those now too, because my eyesight is not as great as it was when I was younger. I still have good eyesight, but not for prolonged periods of time like I used to. I used to draw all night. That was third grade troll super. Yeah, they get dumber and dumber. School's out. Yeah. So now, me putting out content, me being able to, edit a video, like, while I'm doing something else. Like, I'm editing some of the videos. I edit them while I'm working. I've edited videos while we've been live with ET, like when I clip something immediately, and at that moment, like maybe like 30 minutes later, I've already put in a short or something. So, like, that mobility, being able to create on the spot, is something that I enjoy. So that has become part of the hobby. It's become part of why I like doing it. It keeps my mind active. I'm always coming up with different ideas, or I see things that make sense to me that I can add to a video, and I just do that. Now, like, for example, today I was like, man, I woke up a little late. I was like, should I edit a video? Like, no. I was thinking about doing a short, but I'm like, nah. I could just do a live. This doesn't take too much time. I could just jump on. I don't have to clip anything. I think that if I would have like gone ahead and done that, like create a video or make a short, that would have been those would have been superfluous actions, and they might not have come out too good, just because I would not have been in the mood to do it. In the mood to do it, you know. And I think that anything that you do against your will, anything that's forced, anything that you feel obligated to do, is superfluous. Because it not only is it extra, not only is it unnecessary, not only is it excessive, but it can also be harming to you, to your mind, to your body, to your spirit. You know. Now you can truly become slaves to the extra. Like you can truly become slaves to that. Like just to doing extra shit. Like, I've never really understood it, to be honest with you guys. And I know that some of these guys say, "Oh well, why do you speak reckless, calling us a bitch?" That's not speaking reckless. I'm just calling you a bitch. It's not speaking reckless. It's just an adjective. It's a pronoun. It's a pronoun. And it's based on your actions. So it's an adjective. It's an adjective or a pronoun, whichever you want to, however you want to see it. Okay. Now, other than that, I'm not going to make up shit about you. I'm not going to lie about you. I'm just going to talk about what it is that's happened, and that's it. I don't need to get all superfluous and create alternative realities and stories and narratives and do all that extra shit that you guys want to do. No, and then you have to think about how you react when you're in a situation in which you're arguing with someone and you want to be right. Okay, so you got to start off with that. Like, what? How far are you willing to go, or what are you willing to use to your advantage to win an argument? Like, what? How far are you willing to go? Because to me, if it's beyond facts and being able to express your gripe or your dissatisfaction, whatever it is, outside of that, anything else is extra. Like getting angry, raising your voice, insulting, cussing, violence. All of that is excessive. Like if you cannot convince someone with simple conversation, with logic, with reasoning, and with facts, if even after you've demonstrated your point, that other person or people choose to see things differently, I mean, you did your job. And you just have to understand that what they don't want is to accept you. They might accept your argument. They might say, yeah, okay, you're right, but we still don't like you. And that's okay. But doing all of these extra things to try to prove your point can become excessive. You know? And sometimes I think like what I've seen on these platforms, what I've seen lately is that people really do. Hold on, let me see, something's happening here. I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's this control. Uh, okay. Sorry about that. What I've noticed is that people are so susceptible to an image, to that image that they're trying to portray, that they do all of this extra shit. But once like shit hits the fan, they can't keep that up, and then they'll change up. But they'll change up for a while, and then a few weeks later they'll come right back with the same old behavior. Like you don't gotta be extra. I think being extra is manipulative. It's manipulative. Doing all that extra shit, the theatrics, the pearl clutching, the false rage, and all of these things. You know, to be appalled and act appalled over shit that you do, I think it's superfluous. The accusations, all of that extra shit, it's superfluous. Like it serves no purpose. It's redundant. It's excessive. Man, how many times do we have to hear the same thing last night from people like same making the same type of comments? It gets repetitive. It gets excessive. It gets boring. Like I was pretty drained last night, but I was drained just from like, man, I can't, like from expecting to have like maybe like some real conversations, and then just the reality to be, nah, these fools are, they're just gonna get out here talking shit. Like, come, hey, but hey, to me, what happened last night happened exactly like I thought it was gonna happen, with maybe a few tweaks and turns. But we knew, I mean, we know that once we open the floodgates, this is the type of shit, this type of superfluous shit that people love to engage in. But the thing is that it's not really entertaining anybody, it's not really convincing anybody, it's just bothersome. No, it is bothersome. You know, it's a little aggravating. So would you say emotions in a discussion are No, no, no. I think look. I think look, and I've said it very clearly. You can demonstrate like your emotions, but you can't let your emotions take over, right? And if you feel that you're getting too emotional, like in an argument, sometimes it's best to, you know what? Give me a second, and let me, just give me a second. Let me go get this off, and we can continue. But I think that sometimes when you let your emotions get the best of you, you can make mistakes. You're not thinking clear headed. So sometimes repeating a comment is not superfluous if the other party cannot or is not willing to understand. No, it is superfluous if you already saw that the other party is not willing to understand, why are you going to keep like repeating it? But you're not going to continue talking to them, you know? You're not going to continue talking to them. Like in the case of, for example, what we do with Dubs and Gunner, for example. Like they've been very clear that at some point we had like, but it was just communication on the chat, like I'm having with you. Okay. And it was, but it was friendly conversation. But then when I started asking them questions, like you do, and they started getting upset, instead of having a conversation, what they did was block. Now I was like, whatever, that to me, I didn't care. And as a matter of fact, after that happened, I was like, whatever. And I just, I was watching other channels. I really only watched Dubs. Gunner, I only really watched because he used to do the thing with Dubs. That was it. That lasted for about a year and a half. So, when I would make comments on their videos, like things that I knew they were lying, I was like, oh man, these guys don't want to hear it. So I just stopped. I stopped doing it. The only reason why I'm doing this now, Horns, is because I'm not talking to them anymore. Like I'm trying to warn them, because that's the whole thing with Explosive. That's what he's doing, and I decided to co-sign what he's doing, is to expose what they do, so that other people will see it. Hey, did it? Because it's harmful. If this was just like a regular type, like disagreement type shit, I don't think anybody would be doing this. Would be superfluous what we're doing. It would be superfluous what we're doing. If it was a situation where, it was more of a misunderstanding type thing. No, these guys are actively scamming people, perving over women and young women, online, getting drunk, making threats, doing all of these things. No, so that requires action. You know, if it was just a question of just a normal misunderstanding, we wouldn't need to do what we do. I missed the battle boxes. Yeah, I honestly expected better from them. Yeah, me too, Illmanor. But it is what it is. No. Okay. Sounds like I didn't miss much then. Nah, you didn't miss much. Horn repeating those help understand. Find a different way to say your point. Use different words. Yeah. Everything true, probably better. Okay. It was entertaining. Yeah. Katie, go watch it. Katie, it's eye opening for sure. If someone is closed minded, it's not worth the effort. Yeah. And see, it happens in relationships sometimes, right? Where it's over. It's over. He doesn't want you and you want him, but he doesn't want you, or vice versa. You don't want him, but he still wants you, but you don't want him. Like, it's over. Like, some people are together because of the kids, you know? But when you don't understand that it's over and you're like continuously like trying to make it work and try, like, man, if the other person told you no, respect that shit. Everything else is excessive. And all it does is it becomes a problem. It can make the other person bitter and not want to deal with you at all. You know? Or that's right, that's right. Kathy. Hi all. I see we're starting with vocabulary class today, friend. What's up, you Mateo? Yeah, it's Superfluous Saturday. Talking papas. Frank Tica's dropping knowledge, talking papas. Thanks so much for stopping by, for listening to me, guys. For those of you watching, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Good for not native speakers. Yeah, like me. Yeah. That's right, Mateo. Oakland, everything. I hope you understood my explanation, Horn. I could try to re-explain it as well. I don't know if I've even put the link. Let me go ahead and put the link. If anybody wants to jump on, I'm gonna go. I think I pinned it, but no, I'll pin it now. There it is. Let me go ahead and take this off the board. I'm gonna stop sharing. All right. But yeah, I think when I was younger, I might have been I might have been caught up in a lot of superfluous, not just actions, but even how I dressed. Hey, Cubo, Mike Morello, nice to see you. Happy Saturday to you, brother. Shout out to you and your family. Okay. All right, cool. Um, I remember wearing, so in the beginning, because my mom, she was hip to the shit on the street. I mean, she saw my cousins, they were like, some of them were into some shit already. And obviously, she went to work and she saw things. I mean, we saw this. We were surrounded. Yes. Hello, hello. Hmm. Sorry about that. I was just checking out what was being brought into the refrigerator. Looks pretty good. What's up? What's up? Hey, what's up, Peaceful? Frank, everyone else, nice to see you. Katie Frizzle, Horns, that's right. Mateo Squatch. So what I used to do, what my mom used to do was she would tell me, like, we would go shopping for clothes with her. And I remember she wanted me to get my waist size. And I was a skinny kid. I probably wore back then, I'm talking like when I was like 12, 11, 12. I wore probably like a 27 to 28 size waist, you know? But and I would try those on. And then when she would turn away to make lines so she could pay out, for me to take them off, I would switch them and get like some 32s, because 32s were a little bigger. This was back before the people started wearing like ultra huge pants. There's a new word for me. Okay, Mateo. Saludos. Hey, what's up, Hugo Torres? Saludos. Yeah, superfluous. It's excessive, unnecessary. It's like doing extra. But I remember that my mom would tell me, like, you do all of these things just to wear clothes that I don't approve of. You're doing too much. Like, she would get mad. I was being superfluous. I was just trying to do extra to fit in. Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to look a certain way, because that if you're not, dressed a certain way, you can get clowned on. No, and if you got clowned on, the only way to stop getting clowned on was to get into fights. And to be honest with you, I didn't really like getting into fights all the time. If I had to, I would, but if I could avoid it, I would. And I like dressing, I like dressing the part too. So, but a lot of times we did a lot of extra shit to get by. No, and I know that I was probably captivated by the extra, right? The bravado, acting hard, acting tough all the time. Like, if someone called you out, just being ready to fight, all of these things. And I mean, punches hurt. You get hurt. I mean, you can win a fight. Doesn't mean that you might not get hurt in a fight. And even though it's a sign of respect, whatever, and they see, hey, that's right, fool. Oh, look, you got a little scratch on your face. You know, it was still pain, unnecessary pain, superfluous pain. Like, a lot of one-on-ones are just superfluous shit. It's just stupid. It's excessive. But when you're trying to make a name for yourself, when your reputation matters, if you're calling someone out, for example, like if I'm the one calling someone out, I have to be ready, and I have to expect to get down if they decide to turn around and be like, you know what, fuck you, let's get down. All right, cool. Like, you have to be ready for that. You know, if you're the one instigating, if you're the one putting out that energy, you have to be ready to have some people test you. And it's gonna happen. That's just natural. No, that just comes with being just men. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's a survival instinct. No. Let's see, you become a target if you don't blend in. Yeah, you become a target. And that's the thing, man, is that sometimes, and that's why when I talk about dumbing it down, bro, that's exactly what I'm not into anymore. And it's because of that, because I knew when I was younger, like, I took steps to try to blend in, which kind of forced me into actions that me normally, like me, just, the person that I am and that I've always been, I might not partake in, you know? But because you're trying to, build a name for yourself and a reputation, you want to be cool, you want to fit in, whatever it is. You don't want to be ostracized. No, you can get caught up in doing a lot of superfluous shit. But what's crazy is when you reach a certain age and you have children, and maybe you've already gone through various difficult life processes, and you continue to engage in it. For what purpose? Frankie, you learn a new word. Let me try. Frank, your refusal to come out the closet. Hey, look, here's the fake squatch. The fake squatch, right? It's right there. Can you do me a favor? Can you give me some coffee, please? Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see. Driving while listening. That's right. No Dice Media. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Okay. Nice to see you. But yeah, you can get caught up in doing just like the most to get some kind of, buzz, to get some kind of, and we're seeing it right now. We're seeing it right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Thing is that I can't see it. Like I told you guys, if I'm watching this on my on the app or on the tool, I can't see who has a badge and who doesn't. So yeah. So sorry about that. I would have to show you how it looks on my end, and you would see that I can't see all of it if I'm doing everything I'm doing from the tool. So I take your word for it. That's some of that superfluous shit I'm talking about. Peaceful, for them to come out and make a duplicate of you or me or any of us. Like, what's the point? Like, what's the end game to all of it? I don't know. But don't fall into it. Don't fall into it. Look, don't do it yourselves, is what I'm saying. Don't do it yourself. Superfluous Saturdays. Talking Papas. Frank Tica's dropping knowledge. Talking Papas Saturday live. Superfluous Saturday. Don't engage in it. What do I mean by that? If you need to use theatrics, if you need to exaggerate, if you need to act a certain way that's really not who you are to try to drive a point, to try to get your way, you have to understand that at some point you're going to have to live up to whatever it is that you're doing at that moment. Like all that extra, all the theatrics will probably get tested. It may be tested by the people that you're flexing on, or you may be tested by life itself. Don't do the extra shit. Like I know that some of you guys are going through shit with people on your end of the screen. It could be a significant other, it could be your children. No, it could be someone fucking squatting. If you know, you know, right? And you're trying to do everything by the book, and this person continues to do superfluous shit. The extras, right? The extras. Doing the extras and playing the victim. At some point, you might have to turn the volume up. And it would no longer be superfluous for you to do it because you're doing it to drive a point against all of this being done to you. Sometimes you kind of have to fight back. But even when you fight back, even when you turn up the volume, you still want to make sure that you're dealing in facts, that you're not doing something that can bring damage back to you. No, you always want to maintain your respect. You always want to maintain your dignity in everything you do. If it's going to cost you your dignity and your reputation, think about it. Some things are worth it. Some things may be worth it, but not everything. Not everything. The real one, yeah. Today I learned superfluous flights to Indiana. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Could be pigeons. Yeah, it could be pigeons. Yeah, and I can understand when people get caught up in things like that. I can understand. I can always understand. I don't have to agree, but I can understand. You know? But one thing that we learned growing up was el que se agüita pierde, right? El que se agüita pierde. And you knew when you were being told el que se agüita pierde, you were probably told before that, like, hey, look, we play rough, we play rough. If you get involved like this, then you better be ready to for it to be handed back to you, maybe even twice as hard. That's why I always say, like, if you insult people and if you go at people and if you do the most against people, like when they decide to turn around and do what they have to do, don't be surprised if they take it further than what you thought they would. You can't really complain about it at that moment because you called it upon yourself when you drove that, when you started it. I'm only gonna laugh at you. I'm not gonna acknowledge you, fools. Hey, man. Superfluous Saturday. Superfluous Saturday. It has begun. It has begun. Superfluous Saturday. You know, I try to keep my content relevant. I'm not going to be repetitive. If I ever come back to one of these discussions from the past, it'll be to maybe update, or if someone wants to talk about it, or if someone tells me, hey, man, remember that video about this? I don't agree with you. All right, cool. Well, then, want to jump on? We could talk about it. No, but I'm going to continue dropping content. I'll continue putting out my point of view, my peace of mind. That's what I do with these Talking Papas lives. Frank Ticas dropping knowledge, Talking Papas. Superfluous Saturday. The superfluity has begun. The superfluity has begun. Anyways, yeah, don't degrade yourself. Don't look. I know that sometimes going low, like they say when you they go low, when they go low, we go high. Sometimes you just got to meet people up in the middle. Like I'm gonna try to go a little high, but I'm gonna stay above what you're talking about, but close enough to where if it's got to get handled, it's gonna get handled. You know, because it is what it is. But just don't be extra about it. Like, be straight up, be real, man, be real. Look, last night was disappointing to me. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. Last night was very disappointing. Not disappointing in the sense that you guys fucking like you proved us right again. Like, we knew that you guys, the guys that jumped on, the ones that didn't really have much to say, would jump on with nothing to say. You know? But it is what it is. Like, the theatrics don't work, the lies don't work, the narratives don't work, you know? But putting out our personal info, I mean, you guys have done it numerous times. And then you get upset when people call you out. So that's superfluous. Because you guys do all of this extra stuff. You don't own up to it. And then when it's done to you, you guys make a big stink of it and act like you were victimized, like someone broke the rules of engagement. Like, that's all you've been doing. But the same thing happens sometimes dealing with family, man. Family is good at gaslighting sometimes, and you just got to be careful. No, I'm glad that my family now, we get along. We have the relationship that we have. But family can be some of the first ones to try to gaslight you and use a lot of superfluous energy, theatrics, tears, excessively to always get their way, man. I remember growing up, fuck. It was three older sisters and me, and I always was like the one that they accused of shit. And I was like, fuck, man. I didn't do it. Like, it wasn't me. But because she's crying over there, I was like, fuck, what do you want me to do? Yeah, that's crazy. Now that I think about it, I used to get people used to think I was responsible for a lot of shit that had nothing to do with me. You know. But I guess, I was being prepared for this life. Let's see, Kelly Big Dog. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. And if we look at the definition for superfluous again, one of them is repetitive. Right? It's repetitive, excessive, redundant. It could be harmful, of no use, or used just to drive a wedge between something. Look, man, I'm never gonna knock people for feeling a certain way, for for the decisions that they make that will make them feel good about themselves, I mean, you have to choose to do what you got to do for yourself. You know, it's we're all living our lives on this side of the screen with our families and everything that we do. You know, and if the internet starts getting to be too much, I can understand if people decide to, you know what, I'm a jam, but do so. You know, but if you're still on here doing all of this extra stuff, is like, come on. What's up, X Rated? Nice to see you. Yeah, having a blessed day, G. Hey, shout out to you, brother. Hey, happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, X Rated. That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, we got the trolls out again. See, I'm telling you. I had three older sisters, but I'm more of a man than all of you fools. Straight up. And I think that that's what bothers you guys. You guys have never seen or hardly ever see real men. So when you see people like me, you know, all of us that jump on the collective, all of us that come out here and speak up for our families and everything, that's like it's a front to you. You know, it's a front to you, to who you are. You know, to see real men. I'm doing this, and my family is here. That's right. Happy birthday to X Rated. Happy birthday. Isn't that the clinical definition for insanity, is to repeat an action over and over, expecting a different outcome? Yes, that's true, Papa. It can become excessive, repetitive. And yes, at the end of the day, if you're not getting the results that you want to get, but you keep doing it, it's insanity. That's right. Happy birthday, X Rated. I hope you had a good birthday. Pretty much, Papa. This weird, Holmes. Okay. People love to engage in the superfluous, you know, especially when you want to play the victim or when you want to use false bravado to try to impact or stir shit. You know, but you once again you need to understand that at some point it's going to be tested. It's going to be tested. Happy birthday. That's right. That's right. Happy birthday to you, X Rated. Yeah, don't be manipulative. Don't manipulate to try to get your way. Don't lie. Don't, you know, don't make up stories. You know, it's hard at first. It's hard because, you know, sometimes when you're a hustler, you know, part of being a hustler is if you can con people, right? If you can con them into something, you know, that's part of the hustle. You know. And if you consider yourself a hustler of that type, if you're still tied in to like the street side, you know, the manipulative, predatory type of hustling, then you know what I'm going to tell you is a no go, right? But if you're like righteously trying to change your life and be, you know, live on the straight and narrow, don't lie to get your way. Don't manipulate. Don't, you know, don't use none of that superfluous, repetitive, excessive shit, the extra shit to get your way. Because it goes to show that there's still a part of you that wants to continue manipulating, that wants to continue being in control. And I'm not saying that it's not natural to want to have control of everything, but you also have to have the strength to know when it's not your time to try to control something. Like the knowledge, like the intelligence and the strength, because you got to fight the urge to grab the bull by the horn. Sometimes it's not You're a bull to grab by the horns. And sometimes you shouldn't grab the bull by it. Sometimes you should let it go because maybe, they're going to take something out or it's going to take something out that needs to be taken out. Sounds like someone who would operate an eccentric candy factory. Oh, the trolls are out in force today. Yeah, it's superfluous activity, man. You got to stay away from it. Avoid it. Avoid it, man. Look, deal in reality. Deal in reality. Deal in reality. And even when it comes to finances, man. Now, one of the things that someone told me a long time ago is like, don't make your numbers in the clouds. Like don't be adding up quantities out of thin air if you don't even have it. Like you don't even have it physically. Like how are you going to be counting and making, calculations of money that you don't have? But you may think that you're about to acquire some money. Maybe you've been promised. Maybe you're expecting your paycheck to come in, right? And you already know how much you're going to get. But the reality is that it's not until you get it that you're going to know. It's not until you have the money in your possession, once it's in your bank account or however it is that they pay you, however it is that you come across money. But once you have it in your possession, then you can start saying, okay, this is how I'm going to use it. I mean, you can have an idea of what it is that you're going to plan out to do, but it's foolish to try to make your numbers when you don't have anything to count as of yet. And sometimes we do that in relationships. Sometimes we do that in our existence. Like we take things for granted. Like someone's always just going to be there, because they said they would be. This person said that they would always be there, so because they said it, I'm going to count on them always being there. No, man, you cannot count outside of you. You can't count on people. I mean, you can trust people, you can love people, you can hope that they're going to be with you, but you cannot count on people always being there for you. And sometimes what happens is that one time when that person couldn't be there for you because they not because they didn't want to, they really righteously couldn't be there. There are people that get all into drama, like, oh, I can't believe you've left me hanging. I've been there all the time. It's just that this one time I needed to take care of this shit. Like, what the fuck? I got shit to take care of too. No, but I look at the situation with, going to the chill fight, right? Like that to me is like one clear example of it. Like all of these theatrics and being extra, like, oh yeah, it's on site. Whoa, 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 whoa. But the minute they ask you, you're going to be at the fight, no. Then why'd you do all that woofing in the first place? All of that was superfluous. And a lot of people get caught up in that. Don't count your chickens until they hatch. Yeah, pretty much. Shout out to Primo. Don't take it for granted or for granted. Don't take it for granted. Hey man, granted. There are words you're not going to pronounce the T to. Granted. Don't take it for granted. But it's important. It's important not to take anyone or anything for granted. To do so is extra, is what I think. No, that's why I include people in stuff that I do in my plans. Obviously, my family, they're always included, but they're not always able to. And I have to know that. Like sometimes, like, wait, you know what, my schedule or this and that, yeah, I can't. Okay, cool. And sometimes it happens where they're counting on me for something. I was like, you know what, I can't because of work or this and that. No, things happen. Life happens. It keeps there's too many moving parts sometimes. Don't be all theatrical because someone didn't want to go out with you once. No, they've been going out with you every other weekend, but this one other weekend when you were supposed to go out, they decided that, hey, you know what, I need to rest because I had a long week. I'm not feeling too good. Then you start, oh, I can't. Oh, but if it was so and so, you'd go out, huh? It's because it's me. Oh man, all that drama, man. Some people get very, very, very emotional, clutching the pearls, outraged. That's superfluous. Don't do that to people. Don't try to manipulate people with that. No, and it happens all the time. I'm not gonna show up to the fight because I want to fight him. Yeah, right? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Hey, what's up, Mike Morello? What does your shirt say? Oh, it says it's a Spanish term. Okay, it's a Salvadorian Spanish term. Okay, cachimbon means like cool, like like it's good, like it's all right. Like, oh, if you say like, oh, that's cachimbon, it's like, oh, that's great. That's like, oh, that's crazy. That it's not cachimbon. It's like that's good. That's cool. It's a positive. It's a positive. But anyways, yeah, don't fall into the using your tears and using your victimism to try to get your way or to make people feel bad and guilt trips and all of that, man. I mean, because once you're an adult, like once you hit the adulthood, and if you've learned from your mistakes and if you've gone through, the emotional intelligence that you needed to go through, you've developed more skills and things, whatever, you're more open-minded, you're a lot more read up on the world and on people. Those tactics don't work. Those tactics will not work. Man, right? What was that was the worst. I mean, worst possible thing for him to say at the time. Yeah, man. Yeah, cachimbon with a C right there. See, cachimbon. But yeah, hey, what's up? Two times, nice to see you. What's up, guys? Give me a second, guys. All right, there we go. I don't know if someone tried to jump in. Look, so right now, if someone wants to jump in, you can. If I don't recognize who you are, I'm not gonna let you on. Not today, motherfuckers. I'm taking this slow. I'll be jumping off soon. I just wanted to come up here and say hi to everybody. Speak my piece, give you guys a little bit of knowledge, just a little bit of advice. No, don't use drama, don't use manipulation tactics to get your way. Don't be extra to try to prove a point. Don't be extra to try to intimidate someone into your point of view or into doing what it is that you think that they should be doing. Like, don't intimidate people to do your liking. Like, don't try that because that will be tested. And the problem is that, a lot of times you guys cry once it's tested. And like I already told everybody, man, look, at the end of the day, don't be upset if people take all of your extra, all of the superfluous activities that you do, if they take it the wrong way. Like, don't be surprised. And don't try to come out here and say, oh, no, no, hey, kick back, take it easy. I was just playing. How are you just playing when you're trying to put all my, put me in danger, put all my shit out there? Fuck that. Yeah, mannered. Yep, I agree. Damn it, Sylvia. I don't know who you are, but thank you for stopping by. I already saw the troll. We don't take none of those requests seriously. Sorry about that. That's right, cachimbon, cachimbon. Just a little, I'm gonna tell you guys this. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. Just give you guys a little bit of a history thing on Salvadoreños. So we are, a lot of people think that it's Mayan. Like, there are some Mayan ruins here in the country. There is but it's a specific place where there are Mayan ruins. But the majority of people do not come from the Mayan civilization here in El Salvador. We actually come from the Pipil. The Pipil were a tribe of Aztec people that came all the way down and settled this region. So our language and a lot of the traditions of those Mesoamerican tribes in the area, of specifically the Pipil, can be traced back to the Aztecs, which I think is pretty interesting because it's not something that I knew until I came down here. Noodle, you're an embarrassment. Hey, that's right, OG Smalls. Not even worth acknowledging. That's right, old man. Yeah. Superfluous activity. Don't. It's not respectable. It's not respectable. I don't think it's respectable when you have to do extras, when you have to do all of the drama, the theatrics to try to get your way. Just keep it real. Be real about it, man. Like, speak your mind. You don't like something, be prepared for the answer that you get, and that's it. Now, if you don't like the answer and you want to continue pressing it, then don't, expect a reaction to come from the other person if they don't want to continue talking about it and you're pressing them. Do people speak that language around? Yeah, there's certain areas, bro. Certain areas. No food. Anyways, so yeah, I just, I wanted to come on here and just talk about just avoiding the extra shit, man. If you don't like people doing extra to you and try to manipulate you and gaslight you and use guilt trips and all of this shit to try to force your hand, don't do it yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't play the victim card, to try to get your way. Don't act as though you're the fucking hurt party when you're the ones that are fucking starting shit. Or if you're the one that's starting shit, don't act like you're the one that got hurt. Just because you want to get your way. All of that bringing like a very private situation into the court of public opinion, that is superfluous. Like, why do you need an audience? Like, does this really need to play out in the court of public opinion? Now, you guys, those of you that do that, you guys know why you do it. No, and it's not to resolve anything. It should get just to feel like you got people that are backing you up. I guess some people they do that to determine who's got their back and who doesn't, and maybe there are people that have their back, but aren't going to come out publicly to say, "Yeah, I stand by what you're doing right now," because maybe what you're doing is extra. Like, why are you doing that extra shit and wanting me to co-sign it? I'm not going to co-sign your extra shit. I'll co-sign you. No, I understand whatever it is that you're going through. I can understand how you see it, but I'm not going to co-sign all the extra shit that you do. That's right. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah, I want to. Hey, I see your little comment. I want to know what is the extra shit you're talking about that I do, motherfucker. What is the extra? What, me just putting out the content that I put out? What, me making videos? That's extra. What, there aren't millions of content creators out there doing the same thing? Dessert manufacturer. Yeah, man, avoid all of that. Avoid the extra shit. There's no need for that. You know, there's no need for that. But you don't have to announce your departure, man. You don't have to announce your departure. That's superfluous. That's superfluous. Ronka sounds dumb, not smart. I went. So here's what you guys have to understand. Like these guys try to use the fact that at one time I watched dubs, and I've always said it. I've admitted to it. My first video on this channel is still there, and I was very clear about who I was watching at the time. No, and those channels that I was watching at the time kind of motivated me to start my own channel. Dubs was one of them because I had seen about maybe I had been watching him for about 3-4 months. No, I kind of liked it. I liked it when he sounded serious. That when he sounded like he was really working because he was really working still. And he was trying to find his place in life and on YouTube and all. So that was what caught my attention. Because I remember when I had to find footing and I had to start all over, right? I remember when I had to do all of that. It wasn't easy. So I wanted to hear what he had to say, and I was supportive of that. Just like I'm supportive of anyone that's trying to make it, that's trying to grow. That's why I believe in second chances. All of you fools out that come out here and try to place judgment. No, there's a difference between people that are really trying and people that come out saying that they've already figured it out, but they're putting on the shit show online. And that's what these guys are doing. That's what these guys started doing. But before all of that happened, I used to watch. Now, when I stopped watching, I didn't go in there, make a comment, or try to go on one of their lives and be like, I'm done watching you. And announcing that shit. Nah. Like that's superfluous. Or when people announce that they're leaving something, to try to stir the pot and cause division. I mean, we know what you're doing. Hey, what's up, Exposed Tubes? I do this, Frank and Chat. Nice to see you, bro. Chilling, bro. I'm watching the games, jumped on the live. I'll be here for a little while longer. I've been here for an hour, 20 minutes. If you haven't already hit the like, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I will continue doing what I do. That's right. Thank you guys so much for your support. I didn't announce my departure. Like, I wasn't all like, I'm leaving and I'm going to come back and terrorize you. Nah, none of that. Battle Box is live tonight. All right. Let's run it. Might have to drink some more coffee. But yeah. That's right. Exposed to. That's right. Skyler walking the street of Carolina. Yeah, so that's when I started my channel. I even gave him a shout out. But that does not mean that you can't change your mind. Like how are you not like how do you guys consider yourselves men if your maturity level is not one to understand that someone can change their opinion on something? And when I changed my opinion, I did not announce my departure because that would have been superfluous for me to go, I'm leaving you guys because you guys are this and that, and because this and that, and I'm leaving. Like, what? Yeah, I just stopped watching. I stopped engaging. I stopped entertaining their shit. I watched other channels, did my thing. I didn't go back to doing my channel. I was thinking about it though, but I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to do, you know, because I did want to put a good use to it. I did want to use it as I'm using it now. I was a moderator at a hip hop channel, YouTube channel. I was a moderator. We used to block. We blocked those trolls like they were blocked. And a lot of times, a lot of the people, a lot of the commentary, a lot of the lives and the videos were focused at calling out the weirdos. Especially when we were going through the whole Drake, Kendrick, Lamar, and and then the verses of those disses and what they were talking about. A lot of things started coming out. A lot of depraved things started coming out. And there was a lot of calling out of people during that time. And I remember thinking, man, these guys are calling out their own people in their own community. I respected it, but at the same time, I felt like, but I'm an outsider here. Like I'm not gonna, I can't call these guys out. I mean, how's it gonna look like for a Latino who's in, I've been invited into this community for me to go hard on African Americans and to talk shit, like and that's when it became like I understood that I had to be able to do that as well, but on our end. So when I came back to watching videos, like on that's when I saw chemo. That's when I saw exposed to, and the rest is history. I wanted to do that too because I thought, and I still think, and we continue to believe that what we do is important, and we're going to continue to do it. It don't stop. Hey, thank you so much. Let me see. I had to start going to bed earlier. Coffee quit working as good, Frank. Quit working as good, Frank. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Looney Tunes. Shout out, Frank. Opinion should change when information is presented. Correct, bro. Correct. Thank you so much for your donation, bro. God bless you. May the multiply. May the Lord multiply it 1,000-fold, bro. Not just economically, but in good health. May He protect you, guide you, give you newer opportunities, man. Thanks so much for that, bro. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. Frank is on Kendrick's street team. Yeah, man. I can identify myself with a lot of what he was putting down. You know. Shouts out to Frankie, just chilling, barbecuing, drinking a beer. Happy Father's Day, brother. Hey, happy Father's Day to you too. Fear the Dark. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hey, happy pre-Father's Day to everyone. I'm still gonna go live tomorrow. I'll probably go live earlier though, because we'll probably have lunch and other things going on. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, man. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, watching, supporting. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And when I started seeing through chemo, through the exposed to movement, like what these guys were doing on TikTok, on YouTube, all that extra shit, it pissed me off. Because what I didn't like, and I'm gonna be very explicit. What I didn't like and what turned me off about Dubs and Gunner once that duo got together and consolidated was when these fools started doing those panels, those YouTube panels, and they were getting people up. Now, at the beginning, it was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning, it was pretty entertaining. Just to hear the different conversations. I kind of heard it in the background. But when they started drinking and getting drunk and acting stupid, and then having women there, and they would perv on the women, and they would sex play and just do like all of this corny shit, I was like, I can't watch this. I can't watch these old dudes that came out first talking about respect and this and that and Glecha, whoa. And look at how they're getting down. These guys are fucking perverts. I did not like it. You know? And that's what got me to stop watching them. Ill, all I ever wanted was a Grand National. Yeah, man. Fuck being rational. Straight up. And that's what got me. So, but when I saw them on TikTok, that's what got me like, you know what, fuck this. I can't just sit idly by, just being a spectator, knowing what I'm capable of, knowing what I was able to do. Even with my limited knowledge of what YouTube was, I got on and started just doing what I did, you know? And now some people want to want to say and think that what I do is superfluous, but it's really not. It's necessary. It's needed, you know? It'll only be superfluous if they completely stop doing what they do, but we continue dropping videos on them and talking shit. Nah, man, look, if these fools get off the stage, there's not going to be any need. Like, look, I still see them talking about Wes Watson. Like, fuck. Like, go complain to them for still talking about Wes Watson. Like, that's fucking beating a dead horse. I've only been doing this for fucking 6 months. Them fools have been doing it for years. Yeah, I don't see you guys criticizing them motherfuckers. So even your criticism at that point is extra because wait a minute, like, are you not seeing that what everyone like? Come on, man. Don't judge me and have a whole different standard for me than you have for other people. I literally have that song in my head right now. You need to fix yours up. Yeah, man. Just listen.
I see them daily, burying they pain and chains and tattoos. So listen close before you start to pass judgment on how he moved, on how he coped. Whenever his uncle had to walk him from school, his anger grows deep in misogyny. This is post-traumatic. Black families.
That's what I got playing right now in the background. I don't know if you heard it, but yeah, for real though. Let's see, for real though. I need to win a lottery. You and me both, my friend. Don't fall into using theatrics to get your way, manipulation tactics, fear tactics, intimidation tactics, if you don't want to get him tested. If you don't want to be tested. That's right, Taco Stain. Much love to you, brother. Much love, Tikas and Chat. Much love to you. Check out Taco Stain, man. He drops some good videos, does his lives. Shout out to you, brother. I'm about to jump off in a little bit, bro. I've already been on here an hour and a half almost. I'll probably be maybe another 15, 20 minutes. Had mine since 97. That's cool, man. Yeah, so I see through a lot of that shit, through a lot of the theatrics, and I think that that's what bothers people about me sometimes is that I don't let the theatrics get to me to where it'll manipulate me to not do what I'm going to do or to accept their point of view as gospel. I don't do that. That's right. Katie Patern, do you have it in the garage? That's right. See, Taco Stain. That's right, Taco Stain. Nice to see you, brother. Yeah, you don't gotta be extra, and it's similar to not lying to kick it. Don't lie to kick it. You don't have to go way out. Avoid the superfluous. Just be real. Just be real. Speak it, in your own terms. But once you start doing the extra shit, it's gonna be tested, man. I've already seen it happen too many times on YouTube. Not just on YouTube, but in real life, man. Like, keep it real. Keep it real. That's all you gotta do is just keep it real. You're not going to convince people. And if you push people the wrong way, expect a reaction. That's just what it is. Thank you, son. Horns, yeah, Horns. Ill, my dude. It is now, but it's spent time in the weather. Chicago winters are rough. Yeah, okay. All right, man. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to stop by, have the live. I'm gonna be busting these every day. I'll be live tomorrow for a little while as well, probably early. I'll be working on the video, drop that tomorrow as well. Today I wanted to take it slow. I wanted to take it slow, chill. I'm watching the games right now. As a matter of fact, it just started. Ecuador versus Curacao. So I'm gonna watch that, chill with the family a bit. Tomorrow is Father's Day. I'm going to jump early, but I'm going to let you guys know ahead of time. Happy Father's Day to every single one of you. Stay on the lookout for whatever we got going with the Exposed Tube family, the Exposed Tube Revolution. Shout out to everybody. We keep doing what we do all the time. And until next time, guys, peace.